just going to pick up from here. I am excited to be here today because this is the first time I'm seeing an industry, but also teach them how to hone their skills. And so it's an honor to be in your presence today. We have brought together the best in the field, your ears, and just try as much as possible to absorb everything. I always say this, don't ever talk to this person. Let me not rub his shoulder or let me not sit too close to her. Always mix. What's the whole idea?
You say neighbor.
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 I said neighbor.
Neighbor.
What was that thing you wanted to tell me?
Hey.
She's not around.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Anyhow, sorry, it's not about us. Don't mind us actually. We're always this naughty. Alright, Donna was here and she gave us a whole lot. A whole lot. Even me where I know be, I describe myself as part-time poet. And there's a reason for that. But that is not the issue today. But Donna told us a lot. And I have some summary. She talked about the tone. Just in case you didn't get one or two things, just the right hand now as I talk. She talked about the tone of your presentation.
Well, what I do, my day job is organizing events. Technically, because there are many event organizers now who are just deco people, getting the hall. I'm a technician. What does that mean? I direct events. So we're going to be talking about how to organize a poetry event. By the way, I came into organizing poetry events by chance because, I started coming to open mic poetry events just to relax and unwind. And the ones that we're used to going to, we found out that they failed. The people who were organizing just wanted to stop. I'm not making money doing this. There's no use, going ahead. And these were events that we enjoyed going to. So we said, let's do this, It shouldn't be that hard. And then looking at why the other events failed, we knew what to do. So we said to ourselves, we will come together, we will put our money together. We are the ones coming to express ourselves and have fun. So we will fund it. And that way we ensure that it won't fail because the other events failed because of funding. So it brings me to my very first element of organizing a poetry event, sponsorship. I've been talking about Freedom Hall a lot because Freedom Hall is the major poetry event that I'm part of organizing. Most of my other events, as mentioned, are corporate events, product launches, company anniversary. So Freedom Hall is the major poetry event that I co-organize. So I'll be talking about Freedom Hall a lot. Our major sponsors in Freedom Hall are the event venues. We started here in Bogobiri and we never paid a dime to use the event venue. And since then, every event venue that Freedom Hall has been in, we have never ever paid a dime. So our major sponsors are the event venues. And why do they sponsor Freedom Hall? Is because they buy into the vision of people who are arty and creative coming together to, express themselves. If a venue is about culture, about art, they buy into your poetry event because they know they share your vision. So rather than going to pay, let me not mention brands, the big hotels, millions to organize your event. If you're just starting, just look for a venue that shares your vision. One of such venues is Terra Culture, because right after Bugobiri, we moved to Terra Culture. Once you do find a sponsor, I'm not going to dwell on that because I know somebody's going to talk about branding your event. If you brand your event very well, you have sponsorship. Once you do have sponsorship, the next thing is who are your target audience? Freedom Hall. Our target audience are people of like minds, people who share our vision, our love for poetry, for spoken word, our friends. So it's not hard to sell your vision to people who, for instance, if I said I'm organizing a poetry event to everyone in this hall, it's not hard to sell the vision because you're already poets, you're already interested in poetry, you're already interested in the business of poetry, so it won't be hard to sell the vision to you. But if I just started advertising on NTA or AIT, or I'm having a poetry event, I'd be fishing in a very big ocean. I won't know which fish to catch, so your target audience is very, very important. Once you're setting out to organize a poetry event, please be aware, be sure in your mind who you are targeting. If you're not sure, you might have problems, going along. So I had, can we go to the slide before that? I put 2 pictures of Freedom Hall. Now, I should explain using the pictures. The picture before this was a picture at Terra Culture, I think, target audience. Well, not totally. The two venues, the next picture is a Freedom Hall picture at Rhodesia on the mainland. Now, these are people who are our target audience, our friends, they're our age mates, but the 2 crowds are different. If you come to Terra Culture during Freedom Hall, the poets are able to express themselves better because the people are of like mind. On the mainland, it used to happen on a Saturday. If you're a poet, you might find it a bit difficult. Donna can attest to that. She got frustrated and stopped coming to the mainland because their own main reason for coming out on a Saturday, if you are not, Olulu had some funny poems, that could blend into somebody who wants to get entertained. So if you're not a poet with entertaining poems, don't come to Freedom Hall on the mainland where they just want to listen to music and dance. So you must be very aware who your target audience are. Our target audience for Freedom Hall on the mainland is a little bit, not totally, a little bit different from our target audience on the island. You just must understand what you're doing, who you're also targeting. If not, you might be you might lose your balance a bit. In fact, we had to leave the mainland because it just wasn't working for us. We had a vision and we couldn't push it forward so much, although we're going back to the mainland now. But because we know who our target audience are, when we get there, we know the venues to look for, we know the people to invite, because we're not there to come and entertain you. Freedom Hall is about you expressing yourself. So you must want that kind of platform to come to Freedom Hall. If not, go to the next concert. We're not entertainers. Okay. Moving on to venue, date, and time. I lumped these 3 together because date and time falls into your venue anyways. Venue, date, and time. This is a picture of Terra Culture. In fact, they came to us and said, we love what you guys are doing. We would like you to have this event at our venue. I think I spoke a little bit about venue already. Date and time. Freedom Hall is a poetry event, it's not a concert. You don't want to do it on a Friday night when people want to go clubbing. You might lose your audience, except maybe you're having a concert, and we've had concerts at Freedom Hall that Saturdays, I think Saturday is not even Friday night, because we know our people, we know our target audience, we know that they're working class, middle class people who would go to work during the day and they want to relax in the evening, and on Fridays they're all going clubbing. So if you have an event I have a Freedom Hall on a Friday, it must be really entertaining, not just that this poet is coming to express themselves, So timing also. I was saying to Donna when we got in here that if it was Freedom Hall, if we said we're starting at 7, people will get there at 7. Why? Because they know us. That even if there are just 2 people there, we will start. Even if it's just, there's no Nigerian timing at all with Freedom Hall. And because people know us with that, you see them get to the venue at 6:30. Last Thursday by 6:45, the venue was already filling out. So you even had people who were already putting down their names to perform at 6:50, 6:55. Because they know at 7 o'clock on the dot, Freedom Hall will open. We knew what we wanted to do when we said we were going to organize Freedom Hall, and we set out to do it. And we're not going to allow the Nigerian factor to stop us from, being who we wanted to be. So once it's 7, Freedom Hall opens. So if you want to do a 3-hour event and 2 hours into your event, you're still, looking for, well, I don't know how far you can go with that kind of attitude, but you determine the pace, you determine how people look at you, you determine what people know of you. We have said at Freedom Hall, we don't do Nigerian timing. People have known us for that, and we're always on time, regardless what happens. Stage, lights, and sound. I've put a picture of the new Grand Ballroom at Oriental Hotel, because there's a stage, in fact there's a ramp there, there are lights, and there's sound. These are very important elements for organizing any poetry events. You've seen how we've struggled with, oh, this microphone, does it work? Sound is very, very important. Light is very important, because what's the use of having a fantastic, event that people, one, cannot see the speaker, two, your recordings are bad, video, photography, because the place is not well lit, and then stage, so that everybody can see whoever the speaker is, because I'm standing on the stage now, I can see all of you and you can all see me, so these three elements are very important for any poetry event. Thoughts, thinking about the depths of the poem, so a musician will, create a bridge about what they've just heard, while they're getting entertained at the same time. And if the musician knows the theme of your poetry, buttressing the points that the poets have, conveyed in their message, liven the evening and lighten the mood is good. I'll move on quickly because I don't want to take too much of your time. Duration is also very important. I put a picture of Najite and Funtos smiling, and they're smiling because Freedom Hall is a 3-hour event, and by 10 o'clock we're done, and people are still happy, smiling, because it hasn't dragged. You're not waiting for one poet to come home, and by 10 o'clock, people who are too shy to come to express themselves can now, take the microphone. And so duration is very important. If you say 3 hours, please make sure that it's 3 hours. In fact, if you can do it in 2.5 hours, it's better, so that people can actually even stay after the event and network, rather than walking out on you. Duration of your event is very important. Don't ever make your event too long. If not, you lose your audience. Show flow is a technical word. I put these two pictures, myself and Donna, because that's the biggest poetry event that I've organized. And show flow means that who comes on first, who goes on next. So I said musicians, poets, comedians, how you mix the flow of the evening to make it an enjoyable evening is very important to the success of your event. Are people going to go away like, oh yes, I've heard Donna, very deep, or I've had a fantastic evening? That's what show flow means. It's just how you organize your content. Which poet do you place first, which musician next, which comedian? How do you organize all the resources and elements of your poetry event to give out a good, enjoyable evening? I've had 2 hours of fun, I've had 3 hours of fun. That's what show flow is. Freedom Hall events, because I'm always the one with the camera taking pictures. But there are some moments that are very, but yeah, I think that's one of our Freedom Hall Presents events on a Friday. And then I'm showing a picture of, so wherever the musicians have been at, when you see a picture, you know that this is at this event. So you can't go, if I'm looking for sponsorship for my events now, what do I go to show to the sponsors? It's documentation. And if you go on our Freedom Hall Facebook page, you see pictures from when we started in 2010. If you go to the next slide, I think I have a picture of the next slide is just, so MI can never say he's never been to Freedom Hall. There's a picture. His contract doesn't allow him to perform. There's a picture of him, in fact, standing on our rocks, branded properly. No, I don't do this. There's documentation that you have done it before. You can't before me. So, videography. Pictures, you always have them for life to show. It just reminds you of where you have been and things you have done and the people who attended your event. Videos, especially for sponsorship, and then promoting the event, putting it on YouTube and on TV stations. Good photography, good videography, not just documentation. Now I put this 2011 pictures. I had this, funny camera that I got, and the pictures were very good. So if you see current pictures of Freedom Hall, and compare with the old pictures that I took with my old camera, you see that you can hardly see the faces of the people in the lower right hand corner. You can hardly see the faces of the people in that picture. That's bad documentation. That's why I put that picture there. But the one with Kunle is a bit clearer. I was close to him, but you want to document so that you can see the faces of people. You can brand, seek sponsorship with your event pictures and videos. You don't want pictures taken with camera phones when you're going to any company like MTN or Airtel and they can hardly see what your event is about. That's what I'm trying to talk about with the documentation part. Ticketing. Freedom Hall is free without having to pay to get in there. Food and moving. If people are hungry, they're going to walk out on you. But if they're enjoying, you see the happy guest, very happy because everything that he wants is there, So